Lumineers, welcome to the Lighter Side Show. I'm your host, Jamie Butler, the Everyday Medium. And today we have in studio Colleen McCarthy. She is a registered dietitian nutritionalist, and we're going to talk about the energy of nutrition. It is super exciting, but stay in your seats because first I have some housekeeping notes. Yay! You guys are always asking what we're up to, where we are. Well, you can head over to jamiebutlermedium.com, sign up for the newsletter. Everything is perfectly organized there. Thank you to Colleen Ziegler. Yay! I love it. If it fills my need of clarity and organization, you'll love it too. 2019 is coming up, Lumineers. What is going on? This year has gone by so fast, but it does put some new classes and workshops on the calendar for all of us. We have a new Reiki series, 1, 2, and Mastership coming up January, February, and March. And we also have the Mediumship series coming up. Basic and Intermediate is online, so you can be anywhere in the world you want to be, and you can wear whatever you want. I don't know. Should we pause for that one? That's kind of neat. No? Continuing. The Advanced Mediumship is in person. It's at the Center for Love and Light here in Atlanta, Georgia, in our new space. It is gorgeous. I hope you guys are going to be with me so you can see it and enjoy all what we're offering. Okay, no further ado, please. Let's get to Colleen because she's sitting right next to me. She's like, Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for being here.
Of course. I'm excited to be here.
You've been in my orbit for a while.
I have.
And I'm pretty excited to have you here so I can pick your brain.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Well, first, to get to know you a little bit better, you've been a dancer, and I don't know much about this side of you.
Yes.
So I'd love to hear just a brief kind of where you've come from and how you got into nutrition and kind of why.
Sure. So I danced professionally for years, from the time I was 3 all the way professionally till I was about 25. I'm 33 now, so that was my life for a really long time. And when I guess it was 21, I was diagnosed with celiac disease. So that's...
Really, how you said that, your head dropped, you're like, that thing, that's celiac disease.
That thing that literally took me out of the dance world.
Whoa.
I developed an eating disorder prior. So when I was around 18, I was, hitting the studio hard, dancing with companies all day. And I couldn't pick up choreography. My stomach was hurting all the time. So I just decided to stop eating. And so I developed an eating disorder because my stomach was hurting because of the food that I was eating. And long story short, I ended my contract in Charlotte, moved to Atlanta, went to school for massage, and started working with bodies and learning more about bodies and things like that, and was diagnosed with celiac. So my curiosity, I wanted to know how this was affecting my body, how food was affecting my body. So I went back to school to be a dietitian to basically help people go through what I had to go through by myself. I didn't want them to go through it alone. So
that's huge.
That's how I ended up doing what I'm doing. And in the meantime, learning about the energetic body, learning about the physical body, how it kind of meshes together, how one thing affects the other, how it's all connected. And at the same time, getting back in the dance world reconnects me to that whole world again, if that makes sense. It reconnects me to the energetic, the physical body. Everything kind of meshes together. So I got taken out of it for a long time to help myself heal, and now I'm plugged back into it.
So that leads me to ask you, which I've been asking everybody recently, what is energy to you? How do you describe it?
For me, this is always a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Because it's
I usually go blank. Kind of it's kind of like everything.
It's everything.
But it's something.
It's something, but I can't touch it, but I know it's there. It's in everything. It's vibrating everywhere. It's something that I feel come and go because I'm a big feeler. So for me, I feel it. I can feel the vibrations. I can feel things speed up. I can feel things slow down. I can feel things get heavy. So it's ever changing and it's always around.
And so it has a tactile quality to you.
For me, yeah.
So for myself, I'm kind of finding out that energy has a huge emotional quality for me. And so that's usually not my go-to because my clairvoyancy and clairaudiency, it's, energy kind of outside of me that I'm translating, and that's been my job. And now all of a sudden I'm starting to feel, and I think I'm bonkers. I'm starting to like blame it on other things.
Yeah.
I know better than that, but still, like my human side is like,
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear that you have this tactile quality to it. So when you are feeling, and this is not probably a leading question, but when you're feeling something, whether it's a need like hunger or sleep or something of that nature, or feeling fritzed, do you look at what's happening around you energetically, or are you still managing it kind of like a human? Like,
I would say it's kind of both. I understand what you mean.
Yeah, maybe you can clarify my question, but I'm glad we're on the same wavelength.
So if I handle it sometimes like a human,
Yeah.
so I'll start to kind of freak a little bit, like, oh, what's going on here, and then I turn to, okay, what has shifted around me, who is around me, what's coming in, and then I'll flip it to like, what have I eaten? What's, how is that affecting, 1, my mood, 2, the way that I'm feeling things, and 3,
oh my God, so you look at your fuel source.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Because I know for me that like anything that I take in, whether it be emotional, whether it be an interaction, whether it be driving on the road, whether it be eating a burger or a meal, it affects the way that I physically feel and interpret my things around me.
Of course it does. Like,
Yeah.
I'm having all these aha moments. It made me really quiet. Like, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Is this what you do with your clients?
Yeah, so this is kind of how they come into me frazzled and kind of feeling like something is really wrong with them internally. And so I listen and I, to what they're telling me is going on in their life, whether emotional, what's happened physically with their body in the past to the present. And then I kind of strip it down. And it's like, okay, what are you eating? Why are you eating this? How does this make you feel? So then we start kind of unpacking trends like, oh, if you eat this food, this makes you highly anxious. If you eat this food, this grounds you. If you eat this food, this causes your digestive system to literally purge. So
highly anxious. This is the first time I've ever heard somebody put highly anxious to a food you eat.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had an experience a few nights ago. I got into my kids' Halloween candy. It's still at the house. Because we don't let them just like purge on it. We like, and I ate 2 Reese's cups, and I had gone to bed, and I could feel like my body was like, and I was like, whoa, why am I so anxious? What's happening tomorrow? And I was trying to like blame it on what was coming, and maybe I wasn't prepared. And then when I laid down and got calm, I heard it was the Reese's, and I went, oh, man, you're kidding me. Yeah. But I've never put that together before my whole life.
It's so interesting. I was just having a conversation with a client yesterday about how clear she feels mentally.
Yeah.
She said, I don't know how old she is. I mean, I know how old she is, but ballpark. She's in her 30s. She's like, I've never ever felt this clear in my life. And I've eaten clean. Right? But it was literally, we're just switching. She used to eat a lot of almonds and peanuts. We've taken those out. Her mind is clear. So it literally is dependent upon each person. However, it's, constitution and how you're vibrating, and then the foods that you're bringing in either ups the ante or calms things down.
I really like that you're handling people individually and not just like looking at, okay, here's the book of nutrition. So you don't work that way. Like, do you remember the old pyramid thing?
Oh, yeah. I always say that I went to school to be able to learn, like, how the industry handles nutrition. And learning for myself through the process of healing myself through celiac and having to unpack food sensitivities and my gut health and all of that, having to do that on my own, having the experience with the foundation from school allows me to practice in the way that I'm feeling that person needs.
Oh my God. Lumineers, if your head is just going, what? I need somebody like that, which is what mine's doing. That's why I'm pausing. I'm going to remind you guys that you can go and research Colleen. You can head over to her Instagram, which is ColleenMCC_, and follow her. You can head over to Facebook. You have a Facebook group.
I do. It's the Nourish Niche.
And so you can get on and chat.
Yep, you can. It's open to anybody. Some of my clients are in there. It's open to the public. We jam out on, this is how I'm feeling today, and this is what I've eaten, and this is what I'm experiencing. So it's kind of an opportunity to get one-on-one coaching with me.
What? The cat is out of the bag now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also have your own website.
I do.
Colleen-McCarthy.com.
Yep.
So I like to challenge you, Lumineers, that when you're listening to something that resonates with you, or like you get this urge or motivation, just go for it. Go research it, see what's working for you, and if you can't put your finger on it, just reach out to Colleen.
Send me an email.
She's incredibly accessible, and I love that about you.
Yeah, I'm very, very laid back, because everybody's different, like we're all dealing with different things. We're all rolling in different ways. So I don't like to make it more, because some people feel like, oh my God, this is my fuel source. What am I, and I don't want it to feel more heavy, if that makes sense.
No, it just makes total sense. I like the technical word. Because it is. It describes
very
everything.
technical.
So I'm so curious to know when you've been doing your work, which has been, how long have you been a RDN?
Been in practice for almost 7 years.
Whoa, you're kidding me.
Yeah, I know. It kind of blows my mind when I think about how long I've been doing this. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I have heard, and you don't know this, but I've heard several positive feedbacks from people who've come to see you.
Really?
Yes, and we find out that we have you in common, and they gush without me asking, so how do you like her work? I'm not like picking for it. They're just like, I got my life back. My life back. Like
That's
That's
huge. Very humbling for me. Just because, when you work with people, it's just like, I just want to help you get your life back, but in a way that like you don't have to stumble through life and not enjoy it and dread every minute of it. I've been there. It sucks. At 18, I've been there.
It's sad that whenever we mention the word diet or dietitian, immediately you go into the word restriction.
Yep.
Can't have.
Yep.
Is that how you see dietitian?
I feel like, yes. Even though I am a dietitian by trade, there's a lot of controversy around that, because the old school, I say old school very loose, old school dietitians, they go by the USDA way of thinking about nutrition. So we get a bad rap. A lot of us get a bad rap because a lot of people think that because you're a dietitian, you put everybody on diets and it's all clinical and it's like, eat this, not that. You have to come off of all these things, to feel better. When in actuality, there are a lot of us out there that do not practice that way. So I feel like a lot of people, when they're like, you should see a dietitian, people are like, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't think so. They're not taking away my food. No. I like chocolate. No. I like pizza. That's the one thing that when I first started in practice, especially dealing with people with gut issues and removing foods that are, for lack of better words, pissing their system off. When I remove things, I give more. If I remove this food, I'm going to give you other foods in its place so you don't feel deprived.
Deprived, yes.
Because there's a lot of, people come to me and I can feel it. They're amped up saying, I'm not giving up milk. I'm not giving up my ice cream, but I'm having really bad digestive problems.
What? We had the options, man.
I had this one client. He was like, absolutely not, Colleen. He was like, I eat ice cream every night. And I'm having all these skin issues, and I'm, psoriasis, big issue. And I was like, okay, I see you. Okay, we're just going to figure out what it is that we have to remove from your diet, and we'll just figure it out. Do you know that he has not touched ice cream? And he just ran a marathon, and he's in his 60s.
How's his psoriasis?
It's gone.
It takes you a little while.
It just takes a little bit, but what I did is I took away the dairy and gave him more coconut, more almond. So he's still eating ice cream.
But it's just not dairy based.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
But the crazy thing that shifts in the mind is like when the body starts to feel better, the mind's like, all right, cool.
We're good with that. I'm not going to crave it anymore.
Yeah.
That so has me on to asking about the energy behind certain cravings and like the energy behind aversions, not wanting certain foods.
So the energy behind, I'll start with aversions.
Okay.
Couple things. What I see mainly in my practice, because I deal with like directly with the immune system and how foods come in and affect it energetically and physically. With aversions, the body is super cool, and it actually keeps you away from foods that are not good for your body. For example, I have some clients that are like, Colleen, this food showed up on my food sensitivity test, and I'm like, this is popping into my head, so I'm going to say it. I like never eat eggplant, ever. And it's like a really red for me. And I'm like, okay, well, that's your body's innate wisdom keeping you away from that food because it actually has a negative reaction internally. I see that a lot. So aversions to foods, I hear this a lot with moms with young kids. My kid's so picky. I'm like, listen to the child. The child knows what he likes, what he or she doesn't like, because there's a reaction happening internally in their system. And sometimes it's there forever. Sometimes it's there for 6 months. Sometimes it's there for, I don't know, a couple years. But aversions are typically a way, internally, your body's innate wisdom, keeping you away from something that you shouldn't have. Whether it be texture, whether it be just
oh my God,
the
texture?
food itself. Yeah. Texture, the mouthfeel is a big one. I see that a lot with my significant other. Brussels sprouts, absolutely not. No,
really?
no.
So it's not a taste.
It's the texture.
Because I have that, strangely enough, I have that with eggplant. I don't like the texture of it. I won't eat it.
Yeah, it doesn't, it's just, there's something about the way that it's coming in and it's being received. No. That the body's like, I don't like this texture. I'm not going to digest it well. I'm not going to assimilate it. So I'm just going to, nope, don't want it.
So we have to think about the energy behind that.
Yes.
That's part of your world. That's, wow.
Instead of thinking that it's like you have a problem, it's not a problem. It's something that your body's telling you.
I think that's such a trip.
It's a wild trip. Like this whole stuff, this whole like dealing with food and energy and how it's being received and how it's coming in and how it's assimilated. It's a wild trip.
Do you find that some people have aversions to foods that maybe are attached to experiences or past life or, muscle memory?
Muscle memory and definitely experiences. So if your mother cooked a food a certain way when you were younger and whatever the energy around that was, and it was put in front of you and you were told like, you must eat this. Every time that food pops up, you must eat this. And then you're like, no. So yeah, it's all connected.
Mom, if you're watching, I totally have that reaction to green beans when you used to put bacon or ham hock in it. You would hide the meat in it and you would tell me to eat those green beans because you were trying to give me meat, which rightfully so, because I would not eat meat. I have a reaction to it. I can't digest animal protein, so I would just get really sick.
Yeah.
And so whenever I see green beans, I kind of laugh and I always check them. I go, did they put ham hock in there? Did they put bacon in it?
I can't have that.
I would have done the exact same thing with my kid to give them like
this is what you need.
Protein.
Yeah.
So you can help people understand how to work different dietary restrictions because of aversions.
Yes. And
have a balanced meal, healthy life. Then what's up with the craving things?
Cravings are typically
like outside of pregnancy.
Oh yeah, outside of pregnancy.
Let's cut that one out.
Yeah, that one's different. It's a different beast. Usually cravings are your body's signals telling you that either, hey, pay attention to this emotion that you're having, or hey, I need more of this. So for example, like if you're working a job and you're constantly like go, you don't have any time for free, fun, whatever, and you're always craving like a Snickers bar or you're always craving some kind of sugar, it's time to take a step back and look and see where you need to have a little more fun in your life.
Really?
Because sugar raises endorphins. Having fun raises endorphins.
So it's just dosing yourself. Because I ate
Yes.
those Reese's, going back to that story, because I wasn't feeling well, because I was overwhelmed with so much on my plate.
And it just upped the ante.
Shut up. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now when I reach for something that I normally wouldn't go for, like a sugar, what can
Grounding.
I do? Go ground
More
myself?
ground. More like, like root vegetables or something. Like, you're not going to want it. Because if you're wanting a Reese's to make you feel, I need, I'm anxious, I want to feel better, what you're actually doing when you're eating sugar is upping the endorphins. So you're raising the vibration of anxiety. But what you really need is to ground yourself. So you need root vegetables or like potatoes. I mean, maybe French fries.
Maybe French fries. French fries is high on my list of my favorite foods. But I love Brussels sprouts. Oh my God.
Same.
Okay, so what is it then when people have dinner and they're like, oh, I just have to have something sweet now. I have to eat something sweet. It's like
the
almost
finisher.
Programmed.
Well, one, it's programmed. Two, it's the finisher of like, okay, I just ate my vegetables. Now I need a reward. So it's a reward system that our body innately is used to, because if that happened to you as a child, if that's what you have dinner and then you have dessert, that's our societal. That's like, not societal, but society. That's how we're trained with foods.
And we just carry it on.
So you really don't need it, but if you want it, it's like, okay, well, maybe go outside and take a walk or watch a movie or do something that makes you feel good if you feel like something sugary is not in the wheelhouse. Okay. But that's why, that's typically why. It's because it's a reward mechanism.
So there's other cravings, like I hear people craving salt, bitter tastes. What are some other cravings? As I stare down Colleen behind the camera.
Anyone craves bitter.
Bitter?
Fatty foods.
That really, like,
chocolate.
bitter chocolate.
Yeah. Or
so,
like, I guess, like sour.
Yeah, the sourness. It's kind of this, yeah.
Oh, what's that?
Sour Patch Kids?
Kids?
Yeah, I don't crave it.
Oh,
Well, that's like a sweet and salty kind of thing. It's kind of the same, or sweet and sour. It's kind of the same as sugar. But with the salt, it's, okay, where are you not taking risks? Where are you playing it safe in your life to where you wish you wouldn't play it safe? For example, like, if you're launching a business, if you're launching a business and you're, launching an online program or something and you're really nervous about it and you're like, oh, I really need to take this step. Look at what you're eating. Are you eating a bunch of potato chips while you're doing that? Because if that's what's happening, then you're scared to do this. So you have to take a risk. Craving a lot of salty foods is you hiding behind your real shine.
That's really eye-opening, isn't it?
I mean, I, for example, have done that. Like, I find myself, like, digging into a bag of potato chips while I'm, like, building an online program going, okay, this is happening. All right, I see you. It's like, okay, this, and then if you crave it day after day after day after day, it's like, oh, that's the real thing with cravings. It's like every once in a while it pops up, not a big deal. If it's a thing for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a year's, then, I see that a lot with these chronic hiding patterns.
You can help people work in fulfilling that energetic balance so that the craving then just goes
dissipates. Away. And then they learn to use it. They learn to use it as like, oh, I'm craving this food, so this is what emotionally is happening with me. Because I found a lot of people, we kind of check out of our emotions, and we're just like, we do a lot. So I love to use food as like a light in the tunnel, if you will.
I just had this flash of a vision that Colleen needs to make do you know at the hospital where they have like the emotions? How are you feeling? Are you feeling like this, like this? And it's just a food bar. How are you feeling? Like a bag of potato chips? Are you feeling like something sweet?
Take that risk.
Are you feeling like...
That actually would be a great idea.
Yeah.
For like your business.
That is a great
Yeah.
idea.
You're saying that, Colleen. I'm just.
This
like,
Colleen? Colleen in front of the
Too many
camera.
Colleens in the room. What about
Wouldn't that be so
covering
cute?
too? I've noticed a lot of times when I have particularly like afternoon cravings,
Mhm.
maybe if it's for caffeine or just some kind of pick me up, I'm actually really dehydrated.
Yes.
And thirsty.
Yes.
So I've noticed a lot of times it's like a dehydration thing.
It's a dehydration thing, and it's your body literally asking for more nutrients to get you throughout the day. And usually, like the way that we roll is like, oh, well, I can't eat another meal, so let me just go for something like a pick-me-up or, something that caffeine that's going to rev up my endorphins.
So we've covered that sugar is an adrenaline for play, that salt is for risk-taking.
And fear, yeah.
Fear, hiding behind your shine. What about fatty, bitter, spicy?
So fat, craving like real fatty foods. Let me just preface this with not avocados and nuts and those kinds
that's
of
what
fat
I was
things.
thinking.
Those are a little bit different, but it's craving like real fatty foods, like fried foods and just like a heaviness. Is you're carrying around a lot of shame. Because it makes you feel heavy. Those foods make you feel heavy. So it actually, when we're walking around with a lot of shame, we kind of attract what we're feeling.
Yeah.
So you're going to crave more of that to keep yourself there. So I find when somebody, when I'm talking to somebody, it's immediate. You can feel that when somebody comes in and they're like, oh, my diet is, it's pretty okay, but I eat a lot of, I'm not saying burgers are bad because I love burgers, but like burgers and French fries and, fried foods, like, constantly.
Oh, every day.
Is hiding behind shame and feeling like you can incubate yourself in a bubble and not really being able to come out of it. So if you look at somebody that's, overweight and they're trying to lose weight, it's kind of the same thing. The body is keeping you in that incubated safe place of feeling shame. Even though it's not a safe place, that's how it feels to them.
You're like a part psychiatrist as you
It's
get
kind of
into, like,
wild.
counseling and
Yeah, it's a lot of coaching that comes along with it, but it's one of my favorite parts of my job because it's so clear. The information that comes in, it's very clear.
okay. What about bitter?
Bitter is kind of it's in along the same lines of chocolate, of dark chocolate,
Yes,
and that's feeling like our sensual self, like just feeling ourselves, like really not feeling yourself, but like feeling yourself.
Every day after lunch.
Yeah, you just need to get in that vibration. It actually makes you feel like, like it increases that whole like,
I'm
I got
full,
it.
I'm happy,
I got
I'm
it.
satisfied.
I'm almost too sweet.
That's right. You're really like feeling your vibe. You're feeling yourself. It's actually a way to bring up a vibration is chocolate and bitter foods.
Okay, what about spicy?
Spicy foods is like, okay, where do you need a little spice in your life? Where are you playing it mundane? Like, where are you, it's that, and it's, what's your digestion like? Is your digestion slow? If you're feeling like it's slow, what fire needs to come into the system to be transformed in the
Okay,
gut?
that's cool because I only like, and I'm a wimp when it comes to spice.
So am I.
And so eating something that's spicy at all is like, woo! And I tend to only do it when I have like a head cold
Yep.
or like I'm
It
feeling,
opens things up.
drained or
Mhm.
tired. That's so cool.
It's a transformational food. It'll open up the fire in the gut to help burn things off that needs to be burned off. It's kind of wild.
That is trippy.
Yeah.
All right, this is so much fun. But I know that I have one more kind of question, which is having certain cravings at certain times of the day. Some people say that there's a lull in the day, that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, some countries even call it the siesta
Yep.
time, where it's like, oh, this is what happens, we all take a break. What does that signify energetically? Is that just on the craving or is it the time of day?
It's kind of both. It's lifestyle, cravings, and time of day. So a lot of times, we work, and then we do need to allow our bodies to kind of come down and reset, even in the middle of the day. So if you're feeling the lull and you're like, oh, I have to keep going, it's completely normal to take a couple of minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, in the middle of the day to just recalibrate the energy. That's pretty much what's happening. Is like you've spent all your energy. Now you have to build it back up. And the way that a lot of people do that is to just take a minute or an hour.
Is that like eating another meal?
For some people, it's eating another meal. For some people, it's having a little bit of tea. Some people, it's nourishment, physical food nourishment. Some people, it's sleep nourishment. It really just depends on how you tick, and how your body works and how your constitution is. So if you're one to like to snacky snack and to bring your energy up that way, then that's the way you'll do it in the afternoon. If you're one to like me, want to take a siesta, then you'll take a 30-minute nap and have a glass of tea, and it'll bring your energy level back up.
Do you help your clients with all of these aspects?
Yeah, so we kind of, it's basically like not necessarily a lifestyle reset, but it's bringing awareness to your lifestyle, how your body ticks and how your energy is. So you can then take the pressure off of yourself to eat this, not that, and you should be eating this, and you should be doing this, and you should be exercising and doing all of these things, to like, okay, what do I need? What does my body need? Like, how do I roll? I don't, because we probably don't roll the same way. No. So it's different for everyone. So I find that that's how I help people, and it takes the pressure off. And they're like, cool. Like, all I have to do is tap in and tune in and ask myself what I need, pay attention to my cravings, see what foods make my gut, flare up or not, and then you can keep rolling.
Dude, that right there needs to be cut, clipped, and like on a repeat on your website. That sums it up
Really?
so well. That is Colleen, and that's what she does, and that's how she rolls, and that's how she works. And especially this. I love that you broke down like this little. God, do you speak in my language with the hand gestures? I'm like, I'm signing up for that because it's so
it's so funny. Like, that's just how I love sound effects. I like, I'm a very visual person.
That's how I like to get the information. I'm like on that right now. Well, I know that you have an event coming up with Dr. Amy King, who's a chiropractor down in Little Five Points, and you're doing an event December 15th at her studio. At her office, we'll be doing that. It'll basically be about nutrition, energy, learning how your body ticks. We have, it's a limited number of spots that will open up pretty soon. So get to your website, please. Yeah. It'll be on my website, and it'll be on my social media and all that stuff to be able to sign up. So I'm excited about it. I am too. And I know you have a lot of other classes and courses coming up in 2019. Yeah. So I have I haven't done an online program in a couple of years, but I'm really excited to launch this one that's starting in January of 2019 to be able to work with more people and get this information out. So I'm excited about that. Do you hear that, Lumineers? More people online, so you can be wherever you are, and you can contact Colleen. Yeah. Guys, we love this. Thank you so much for being in the having studio me. And just chatting about all of this and kind of taking out some of the mysteries of it. Yeah. And sharing with us some of the energetic qualities behind food and nutrition. Because that's amazing. I've left with a lot of information. It's cool stuff. I mean, it's trippy, but it's awesome. Yeah. Well, again, thank you. Thanks for having me. Lumineers, thank you so much for being here. Again, if you've loved what you've heard today, please check it out. You can go to Colleen's website, Facebook, or Instagram. We have all the contact information down below in the description. And thank you for being here. Remember, it's not woo-woo, it's true. Bye, Lumineers.